It is said that the mind is the most powerful thing in the world. If you want something with all your heart, you will definitely get it. This is what most of the great men of the world say. If this is true, then why doesn't what we want from our heart get fulfilled? Because no one would want misery for themselves, but most of the people remain unhappy. Who is the person in the world who would like from his heart that he should be unsuccessful, poor, or be sad? It's something to think about. Then two things come out here. The first is that the great man is wrong, who said that with a true heart one can get what one wants, or we are wrong. Friends, the story I am going to tell you today, you will understand how to get any work done with your mind, how to achieve anything through mind power, and how the right seeds of anything are sown in the mind. And with this, you will also know how the law of attraction works. Once upon a time, there was only sorrow in a man's life. The work that he does, he would have achieved failure. If he had stayed at home, there would have been tribulation every time in the house. When he asks for help, no one is ready to help him. All he could see was despair and hopelessness. It seemed as if a mountain of sorrows was fallen upon him from all sides. He could not understand how to get rid of his sorrows. He used to think day and night only that how can I get rid of these sorrows of mine? That's why he could not even sleep properly at night, and there were big dark circles under his eyes. And the hair had also started falling because of worrying all the time. His temper was very irritable, and his body became very weak. Sometimes thoughts of committing suicide also came in his mind, but thinking about his family, he could not take this step. He was so troubled by his troubles that he decided one day that he would be able to get rid of his sorrows. No matter whatever he has to do, how hard he has to work for it, he will be relieved of his sorrows. With thought he asked his friend, one day how can I make my life happy? His friend suggested that you go to some saints have such a mantra that all sorrows go away and life is filled with happiness. And wealth is also acquired. You just find such a saint, your work will be done. This matter sat inside the mind of that man, that now only a Saint Baba can solve my problems. That's why he would have reached the Baba, about whom he came to know from you, and tell him all his problems, and ask for his solution. And says, Saint, I am ready to do anything. I will do whatever you say. Just you put me out of my misery. Saint would tell him some remedies and would say that after doing this remedy, there will be peace and happiness in your home. But do these measures with complete rules. Instead of these measures, Saint would have taken a substantial donation from that man. That man used to do those measures with complete rules, but even after doing many measures, there was no change in his life. On the contrary, while giving donations to many saints, his money was also running out, which only added to his troubles. He thought that by going to these saints, my troubles have started increasing even more. So what should I do? Should I go to these saints or stop going to them at all? One day a man advised him to call a good priest in your house and get him to perform a 𝚂𝚗. Get the mantra chanted at home with all the rules and regulations. Whatever negative energy has happened in the house will run away, and happiness and peace will come in the house. This thing sat well in the mind of the man, and he called a priest and performed a 𝚂𝚗 in his house. 𝚂𝚗 was well done, and that person happily sent the priest home after giving a good donation to him. Few months after performing the 𝚂𝚗, everything was fine in his house. Peace prevailed in the house, and even his small stalled work started getting completed. But after a few months, the same condition returned. The person felt that still nothing significant had changed in his life. Now that man became sad completely. Now he started getting more worried than before. He started feeling that now there will never be an end to his sorrows in life. Thinking about all this, his condition became bad. Then, one day, he came to know from his friend about such a saint who does not take any donation in return for telling the solution. That person thought that this saint is different from others because he does not take any donation. And if he take any donation, then he must be an accomplished saint. Thinking this, he reaches to that saint. On reaching there, he sees that saint is meditating, so he sits quietly and waits for saint to come out of meditation. In a short while, Saint's eyes open, and he finds a sad and troubled man sitting in front of him. Seeing the physical and mental condition of the person, Saint does not take long to understand how troubled the person is from his life. Saint addressed him and said, "Son, what problem have you brought to Saint? What are you worried about?" The person said, "Saint, I am very troubled by the sorrows of my life. I tried very hard to reduce my sorrows and did the work that every saint asked me to do. Tried every trick someone told me, but there was no reduction in the miseries of my life. On the contrary, it increased. Saint, I don't understand. What should I do? Sometimes I feel like committing suicide, but thinking about my family, I cannot take this step. Saint, I have heard a lot about you and come to you with great hope. Please tell me some way that I can get rid of my sorrows. I'm willing to do anything to get rid of my sorrows. You show me any way, no matter how hard it is, I'll make it through." Saint realized that this man was really very troubled. Saint listened to him and said, "Son, to remove the sorrows, mantras are not found just like that. Have to do something to get them, can you?" Hearing such a thing from the saint's mouth, at first that person thought that this saint would also now ask me for charity and donation. But he had no other option, so he said, "Saint, whatever donation you want, I am ready to give you. But your mantra should be true, it should be successful, and I should also get its result. After that, whatever donation you ask for, I will give it all." Saint smiled and said, "Charity and donation is a very small thing. I will not ask you for such a small thing." On this, the person thought a little and said, "Saint, I am ready to walk even on embers. You just command me." Saint smiled again and said, "I'm not going to make you do small things like walking on embers. What I'm about to make you do is a very difficult spell. Can you do it?" "Saint, you tell me that what I have to do, I am ready to do anything." Then Baba said, "When you go back home from here, you keep repeating in your mind that I am happy. I am happy, I am happy. Repeat this mantra again and again in your mind, but remember, this mantra should not come on the tongue. Just repeat it in your mind." Hearing this, the person said, "Saint, this is all. I will do this work with a pinch of salt. But what if you repeat these words?" Saint said that you just complete this mantra. Anyway, you have chanted the mantras of many saints, so try this mantra also. That person thought that Saint is not taking any donation anyway. This mantra is very easy. I'll just finish it. So what's the harm in doing it once? He said, "Okay, Saint, I will definitely complete this mantra," and started walking from there saying this. But as soon as he left, Saint's voice came from behind, "Son, remember one thing, that when you recite this mantra in your mind, then the thought of monkey should not come in your mind. Don't even think of a monkey, only then this mantra will be proved." The person said, "I have not thought of monkey till today, then why will it come today?" "Don't worry, Saint. I will only repeat this in my mind, that I am happy, I am happy. Other than that, no thought of monkey would come to my mind." Saying this, the man leaves from there. He had gone far away, repeating "I am happy" in his mind. Suddenly, the thought of a monkey came to his mind. The monkey's thought came and went. That person started thinking that till date, no thought of monkey had come in my mind. Then why did the monkey's thought come today, thinking like this? He caught the monkey's thought in his mind. He started thinking only about the monkey. He forgot that he was repeating the mantra. When after a while he remembered, then he started repeating the mantra that Saint told him, that "I am happy, I am happy." But after walking a short distance, he suddenly saw a monkey on the way. Again, the thought of monkey came in his mind. He started trying to get this thought of monkey out of his mind. I started trying that no thought of monkey should come in his mind. He started fighting with his thoughts, and with this uproar he reached his home. On reaching home, he said to his wife, "Hey, female monkey, serve me a monkey for lunch." When he realized what he had said, he started pulling his hair. He started banging his head on the wall. "Till date, I have not got any thought of monkey, but what has happened to me today? Why are monkeys are visibly everywhere? What kind of illusion is this? Thinking of all this, he could not sleep for the whole night. Kept changing sides the whole night, and as soon as it was morning, reached straight to Saint and fell at his feet and said, "Saint, don't know what miracle is happening. Till date, I have not got any thought of monkey, but since yesterday, since you said that the idea of monkey should not come in mind, since then I see monkeys everywhere." The man said, "Saint, I can see a monkey sitting on a tree behind you and eating bananas." "Saint, what is happening with me?" Saint started laughing after listening to that man and said, "Son, the trap of the mind is a trap that is not so easy to understand. These monkeys were still in your way when you first came to me. These monkeys were roaming on these trees, but then these monkeys did not come to your attention, because then you were focused on your sorrows." Saint explained to that man and said, "Son, the very thing that we want to run away from is the very thing that sits very deeply in our mind. It sinks into our hearts. In fact, we want to get rid of the thing, so we want to get rid of that because it is deeply ingrained in our being. And the more we want to get rid of it, the deeper it goes on sitting in our mind. And finally, it engulfs our inner self. Above all, we all want to be happy, and our lips also say that I am happy. I am happy. But there are sorrows in our inner self. In our thoughts, in our mind, we see only sorrow. We are only creating thoughts of sorrow from inside. That's why just by saying that I am happy, we don't become happy, unless this mantra enters our inner self, and we do not generate thoughts of happiness from within." Hearing this, the man asked, "Saint, how will this mantra enter our mind? How it will sit in our conscience?" Saint said, "Son, stop fighting with your sorrows. As long as you keep thinking about removing your sorrows, those sorrows will stick to you. Till then, those sorrows will keep their kingdom in your heart. And from the day you stop thinking about those sorrows, that day sorrows will disappear from your life. Because to get rid of something, we have to think about that thing. And the more we think about that thing, the deeper it becomes in our mind. Most of the time, we keep thinking only about our sorrows. We believe that there is suffering in our lives, and we get rid of them in the same way, because of thinking again. And again, those sorrows get filled in our heart. And we don't even know our sorrows. That's why if you want to get rid of your sorrows, then stop thinking about removing your sorrows, and you will be relieved of your sorrows. Guys, you must have seen that often. People want to quit smoking or want to quit drinking. Want to quit any bad addiction. They promise themselves that in the morning that I will not do anything wrong today. When that person returns in the evening, he returns drunk. Why is it that we cannot accomplish what we think? Actually, we are giving too much importance to that problem. Whenever we think a lot of leaving that thing, so increase the importance of that thing in your mind. And the more we think about that thing, the more our mind runs towards that thing. We don't have to fight that thing, but just pass by it without thinking. And if we understand this thing, well then whatever we want to achieve in our life, we can put it in our mind. If that goal once settles in our mind, so we will not face any problem in getting success. Friends, I hope you liked this video. Thank you.